Good evening. We are making a little run of the mail in the DeHavilland Dove, which I flew the mail in. We carried 2,000 pounds of mail from Arcata in Northern California, just above Eureka. It's now called California Redwood Coast Humboldt County Airport. Back then it was called Arcata ACV, KACV, and then we're going to KSFO, and I'm supposed to do that in an hour and a half. It shows that I might be able to do it in the Citation Longitude maybe in 30 minutes, but I don't recall it being 230 miles. But again, 300 miles by car, 230 direct. And they're pretty direct. We go a little bit south, halfway down to San Jose to get back on the ILS or the RNAV. Today I like to use the RNAV, so there's the connection there. So we'll get going here, and I'll tell you more about the picture. The picture was taken at San Jose Piper at San Jose International Airport, and Normanetta is the guy it's named after now. World War II war hero from Hawaii, and he was a congressman from San Jose or Santa Clara.
Kilo Alpha Charlie Victor
So
traffic
here we
Cessna
are in the
527
night,
Bravo Charlie taking off runway 19 west departure.
We're gonna take off 19 west departure, and we'll see what altitude they give us. We're going at night, but we got lots of toys to do here. 6,000 feet out over the water, and actually 6,000 feet clears everything all the way down to San Francisco, but I'm sure they're going to give us a higher altitude. I used to fly it at it was east is least, 5,500 or 7,500 is what I used to fly it at. So we'll climb up to 7,000, I think it said. I had to digress, and that's what happens, is I forget. And that's 6,000 feet. So we'll get that out of the way. We go right here, go up to 6,000 feet, climb at 2,500 feet a minute. There's plenty. No traffic in the middle of the night up here, and we use nav. We're going to use our let's see, we got it here. Initially we're going west, so let's go with that on the heading. I'll take the heading knob here, and we'll move that around to west right there. And if it doesn't go and connect on the nav, we'll click over to our heading and do that. We can go down here and click this so we can see what we're doing on here. You can see we go out to the west, and then we head south down the coast. Okay, that's it. We take the brakes off and go outside here, see what we see there. Yeah, that's good enough. We go ahead and hit that. So you can see Eureka Municipal, that's out on the ocean. And over to the left of there is Murray Field. And here we go. We're off and running. Eureka dead ahead. And we get the gear up and the flaps up, and we go inside. There's 101. And we go ahead inside and turn on the autopilot. And we get the auto throttle going. Looks like it's working. Let's see. So we're working a little bit here. Let's go inside. And follow the instruments right here. Yeah, we just are going out off the coast to pick up our what do you call it, south. We could go heading. Let's go heading. And that's off to our left. Yeah, we're rolling into a left turn to go for our heading, and we'll cut this corner. And we'll see what our speed is. We're coming up to 250. We're at 4,000 feet, climbing to 6. And we'll probably have some conversation. Seattle Center.
Seattle Center, Cessna 527 Bravo Charlie is passing 4,200 feet, climbing 6,000 feet.
And we're going to go with nav now.
Cessna 527 Bravo Charlie, Seattle Center altimeter 29.9er,
Heading
2 radar
now.
contact. Continue to exit.
There we go.
Cessna 7 Bravo Charlie climb and maintain flight level 190.
Flight level 190. That's cool. We never did that in the Dove. 190. There we go.
7 Bravo Charlie acknowledge last transmission.
Okay.
Climb and maintain flight level 190 Cessna
So
7
we're
Bravo
pretending
Charlie.
we have 2,000 pounds of mail on board. Going to San Francisco, carrying the mail. There's Eureka Municipal going by. We'll go back outside and let's do this and go right there, and we'll look down at Eureka as we climb by Eureka. There's our maintenance facility down there on the left. And we get rid of this. What's going on here? Right there. There we go. So there's Eureka, and over here is Arcata. There's the sun going down. Let's see what time it is here. So, let's see, 5:22 a.m. We're p.m. We're at there's our moon. So we're just at 9. We take off at 9:30. So let's say we're 9:30. 9:45 is okay. And then we're going to get the action from the full moon. Again, we're going by Eureka. You can see the outline of the aircraft right there. And we're heading south. That's 101 heading south right there. And we just got a little extra altitude, so we're now kicked up to our speed limit is 270 knots. So we'll go for that. I can hear our auto throttle working, and we can see 101. We could IFR, I follow road down to San Francisco. But you can see it winds around, and down in here it follows the South Fork of the Eel River, is what 101 follows right here. And Eel River comes in, we're probably looking at lights right here along the Eel River, right in there. Roosevelt. It would be this dark area in here. Would be the Eel River. So we'll look around on this side. We'll look at out to the ocean and let the moonlight show our aircraft. And we got the lights on. We can turn that out. Beacon. Turn the beacon on. And we'll look back here. We can see the sunset out there, and the moon. The moon is. Let's get where it looks kind of cool. I'd say it looks kind of cool right here. And we're on Victor 27, I think, is what the old airway used to be. So we're following Victor 27 down to San Francisco, possibly. I don't have my aeronautical charts anymore, we can go by this and see what it shows on here. See, we're just hit Fortuna. We're leaving Ronerville, and 101 should be right under us. Yeah, there it goes, right there. 101 heading south to Garberville, and so we can move this up and we'll see Garberville down here somewhere. Let's see. There's Fortuna. Should see Garberville. That might be Garberville right there. There it is, Garberville. And we'll be down there in no time. That's about a third of the way.
7 Bravo Charlie climb and maintain flight level 210.
And we're going up to 210. We can put this up over on the left, but the moon is over there, so let's get rid of that. 210. And I have to acknowledge that. I would have the co-pilot would do that. Here she,
Bravo Charlie, did you hear my last transmission?
here she comes. Right
Climb
now.
and maintain flight
Right
level
now.
210 Cessna 7 Bravo Charlie.
210. I'll click this up to couple, and are we still climbing? Yeah. 19. Climbing at 2,500 feet a minute. And we'll go up to 2,100. You can see how we cut off. We're not going down the coast. We're going right straight down. And these mountains off to our right would be right about 5,000 feet. So 5,500. I usually never flew under 5,500. And what is our heading? 144. So we're flying in the eastern half of the compass headings. East is least. So east is odd thousand. West is even thousand. So east is least is for our deviation in the magnetic field, which affects the magnetic compass, which we don't have to worry about because we have GPS. So I think we got the heading right. We're on course. We're at 21,000 feet, and our let's get in here close here. We now have 320 knots is our speed limit. We're right up against the barber pole, or the never exceed for this aircraft, and we're doing Machs, not Mach 0.7, and we have to look on for what our true airspeed is, and we'll do that right now. Click there, and our true airspeed right now is 435 knots, which is probably close to 500 miles an hour. And we'll look out and see what it looks like on Highway 101, which is right down there, and we're probably coming up on Garberville. The towns do not stand up. We'll look back toward Eureka, and you can barely see the glow of Eureka, and we're being asked to change our frequency. So we'll go right in here, and we'll do that. We'll answer him before he nags us.
134.15 Cessna 7 Bravo Charlie. Goodbye. Oakland Center Cessna 527 Bravo Charlie flight level 210.
Cessna 527 Bravo Charlie Oakland Center radar contact continue.
So the picture on the thumbnail for this YouTube is a picture of Larry Hannan, the sales manager at San Jose Piper, where I was instructing. And he bought from Ron Webster in England that used DeHavilland Dove. And it had twin engines that were just under 400 horsepower. They were called Gypsy Queen 70 Mark IIs. And that airplane apparently, and serial numbers close to it, I've confirmed, belonged to King Hussein of Jordan. He bought like 3 or 4 of them, and they were executive aircraft for the king and his court for traveling. And of course, King Hussein had a pilot's license, so he may have flown that airplane that was in the picture. That's the thumbnail with Larry standing at it with his arm on the, I think on the hub of the right engine. And that aircraft was built in 1947. Had the twin engines. And it probably cruised at about 165. I really needed 180 to meet the time. We were given an hour and a half to fly between Eureka and San Francisco, and we always seemed to be late.
Cessna 7 Bravo Charlie, contact Oakland Center on 132.2. Good day.
And when we get down to San Francisco, I used to do a shortcut. This aircraft, it will make an instrument approach, which takes me down to about Palo Alto. Then you come around and land on 28, which is the active runway most of the time.
Cessna 7 Bravo Charlie, acknowledge last transmission.
Most of the time you land on 28, you take off on 1 down there. So here we'll acknowledge.
132.2 Cessna 7 Bravo Charlie.
So we'll wait a minute while I'm talking, so I don't have to. And this is probably Garberville right there. And we'll look down and see if we see the high 101 coming by. 101 should be going right under us. Now we can't really see it. We're starting, yeah. There's 101, and it does run around. This is probably the road that goes over to Fort Bragg, and I've taken that road that cuts off of 101 just south of Garberville, going over toward Fort Bragg. And we can't see the coast because it's dark and the ocean is black, but we're starting to see down here to Willits and Ukiah are starting to appear. The lights from the cities is starting to show up, and the glow from the Bay Area is starting to show up. And you would see that, and you didn't have to be at where we are here at. I'm going to put this up on the left at 21,000 feet. You can see the glow at 5,000 feet. This could be Laytonville right in here, but I'm not sure of that. But I'm sure that is Highway 101, which I could see the lights on 101, the traffic, every night except when I was in the weather. Or there was fog. The fog usually didn't go inland that far, so I could see 101 at night. You would get a little fog in Eureka and Arcata, a lot in the summers. Foggiest area in the continental limits of the United States. More fog there. So anyway, we've got Oakland Center. Let's go ahead and talk to Oakland Center. And Larry is gone. He's been gone for about 5 years. And he was an aircraft broker all his life. What a guy. And so he got me on the mail run, and I said, how about sending me on up with the airplane. He sold the airplane to Eureka Aero Industries after he bid and won the mail run from Eureka to San Francisco and returned. He then trying to maintain it in San Jose. The aircraft sits on the ground all day long, so if it's sitting in Eureka, that's where you want to maintain it. So they sold the airplane, and I said, how about getting me to go along with it? There's Fort Bragg now. You can see Fort Bragg, and that's that road that goes across to Garberville, right there. There it goes across and over to Garberville and 101, and that's Garberville right back up there. If you can see that road, I can see it. So there's Fort Bragg. We're not going to Fort Bragg. We've been there. And now we're coming up off adjacent to Fort Bragg is Willits. So this is probably Willits. Right under the left wing is Willits, and there's a little airport right there, but it doesn't show up. And then down here, this is Willits. So I was a little early on Willits. I didn't have my angle right, so going from Fort Bragg to Willits is a little road here, and they have the skunk train, which is a steam engine, goes across to Willits, and that's on 101 north of Ukiah, and this next one is going to be Ukiah here, and then the next one is going to be Santa Rosa. So we can cut this out. No, we have to check it back in now. Air traffic control is going to want to tell us something. Usually they leave you alone. Usually they leave you alone in here.
527 Bravo Charlie, Oakland Center radar contact, continue.
And they will start bringing us back down once we get past Santa Rosa. And I estimate this is Santa Rosa right down there. Again, there's Willits. And Eureka is coming. Ukiah. I get Ukiah and Eureka mixed up. And here in Ukiah, I used to live in Ukiah when I was working for the drug company, wholesale drug company. And I called on drugstores all over Mendocino and down to St. Helena, Calistoga, over on the Russian River, Rio Nido, I think it was called over there. Interesting times. The mail run came after that. I was living in Ukiah in 1960, 61. 1960, I was living in Ukiah. And then at 68, 69, I was flying the mail. So we'll look at the airplane here. This is probably the road down from Willits that goes to Cloverdale. It also goes over, the road goes over to Mendocino, which is south of Fort Bragg. So we'll look back over that way, see if we see, yeah, Little River is an airport. I've been in and out of Little River with a Comanche, and that is just south of Mendocino. And then right up here is Fort Bragg, is right there, and this would be Mendocino, right in there. Very popular place out on the coast. So, and then that river, that road goes over to Cloverdale right there. It goes through Boonville. There's along here, there's Boonville right there. Little airport in Boonville. So there's Ukiah. Lived possibly on the road right there just north of the airport. Had a little apartment right out on that road right out there. And we can't see it right now, but Clear Lake is right over the hill right there. Then they have geysers down in here. They got a little town called Geyserville. So anyway, we're giving you all kinds of information on this flight to San Francisco. So I had I was kind of like a detail man for the wholesale drug company. I'd call on drugstores, but we carried everything you find in a drugstore. The sundries, bathing caps, sunglasses, Tums, over the counter, under the counter, the whole 9 yards. And I used to see, coming and going, I used to see the Big Dipper, and I think I see the Big Dipper tonight. I'm not sure. Yeah, that might, not quite. But I used to see the Big Dipper in the sky, and I could aim at the Big Dipper on my flight to San Francisco. So we're lucky to have a full moon, and that lights up the aircraft. Normally you wouldn't be able to see the aircraft this well, but the moon is lighting it up for us. And then as we get down to the Bay Area, the lights of the Bay Area will be just fabulous. They're kind of blurry right now, but they'll get sharp, just like looking down at Ukiah right here. You can almost tell the streets of Ukiah. You can see the road that goes over toward Clear Lake going right off of there. And then the road 101 continues back up to Willits. So that glow right in there is Willits, and the Willits Airport is just north of town right there. Whereas Ukiah Airport is on the south end of town. And here is the road to going under us. It's a road out of Cloverdale, so I know that that's Cloverdale. And they have a little airport in Cloverdale. That's the little Cloverdale Airport. I don't know whether that's going to light up for us or not. But that's all right, because that's that road that goes to Boonville and Mendocino right there from 101. Cuts across right there. And I used to cut across because Cloverdale was part of my territory. Then next down is Healdsburg. I don't remember whether Healdsburg is south or north. I think Healdsburg is on the south side. And then Geyserville is on the north side here. There, it's Cloverdale right there. I worked for a wholesale, a distribution yard. After I finished the mail run, I lived next door to the mill sales manager, Sam Whistle. He worked for Sierra Pacific Industries and Red Emerson. And he knew Chuck, I forget, Art Bond had a company called West Range in here. They called it a Doug Fir distribution yard. So they had the Dimension Lumber, Douglas Fir, and they had their distribution yard there. And I worked for Art Bond in Cloverdale. So I lived in Cloverdale for a while. No, I didn't live in. I rented a house in the north end of probably right here by the Santa Rosa Airport is going to be right here, and that's called Charlie Schulz Airport. The guy that wrote was the cartoonist for Peanuts, Lucy and Charlie Brown. So that's going to be that airport, and I've been in and out of there. And right on the north end of that town, we rented a little house right there when I first got married, Cloverdale. And then this is the road that goes over along the Russian River over to the coast, and this is probably the coast going up. Highway 1 is right there.
Skywest 3208 Heavy, you are 64 miles north.
I forget.
Descend and maintain 3,400 feet. Expect RNAV Yankee runway 28 right approach via sit-by transition. Cleared to sit-by.
I forget the number of the road that goes along the Russian River here. And
descend and maintain 3,400 feet. Expect RNAV Yankee runway 28 right approach via sit-by transition. Cleared to sit-by Skywest 3208 Heavy.
so there's Santa Rosa, and right here, and the airport is on the north end of town, so the main part of Santa Rosa is right in that area right there. And then you can see the lights of the Bay Area.
7 Bravo Charlie, descend and maintain 15,000 feet.
Okay, you say all right.
Descend and maintain 15,000 feet, Cessna 7 Bravo Charlie.
Put this up in the upper corner, up there, and we go over one and take the. Oh. Now we have to descend. We go down at
Skywest
about 3,000
3208
feet
Heavy,
a minute.
contact center on 127.9. 127.8. Good day.
And they're going to leave us alone for a
SkyWest
little bit.
3210 heavy contact center on 127.8.
So
Good
we
day.
got 15,000 in there,
Cessna
and
7 Bravo Charlie contact center on 127.8. Good day.
I remember 127.8.
heavy.
That was the frequency I used. They haven't changed
Horizon
that.
Air 209er tree heavy contact center on 127.8. Good day.
That was a
Going to
in your
127.8
frequency.
Cessna
I
7
recall
Bravo
that.
Charlie.
Center Horizon Air 209er tree heavy flight level 350. Horizon Air 209er tree heavy center radar contact. Continue to Tango Tango Echo.
Center Cessna 527 Bravo Charlie is passing flight level 180, descending 15,000 feet.
Cessna 527 Bravo Charlie center altimeter 29.902 radar contact. Continue to Papa Yankee Echo.
So now we're seeing the glow of the Bay Area open up. You can kind of see a dark area in the middle, and that's the San Francisco Bay in there. And the city is going to be right about in
SkyWest
there.
3210 heavy center radar contact. Continue to Papa Yankee Echo.
And of course, Highway 101 goes right down to the Golden Gate Bridge, so that'll be on the west side of the glow down there. These could be reflections off the water. The moon up there, reflecting off of some lakes or something like that. That's right in there. Now we're down to 300 knots, so we're slowing down. We got up to 500 knots, 500 miles an hour plus, little 500 plus.
Heavy, you are 62 miles northwest.
So let's look at our airplane here.
Level 210, expect vectors visual runway 30 right approach. Cessna 7 Bravo Charlie descend and maintain 5,000 feet.
That's good.
Descend and maintain 5,000 feet, Cessna 7 Bravo Charlie.
Descend and maintain flight level 210. Expect vectors visual runway 30 right approach SkyWest 3210 heavy.
3,000 feet a minute. Go back outside. We'll look at it this way. Yeah, it's kind of pretty. Well, you can see we're descending. And we're descending at a little above 300 knots.
Center SkyWest 3056
We're still touring out at 380 knots. We can now see the coastline a little bit. There's some lighting down there, right on the coast, and you can only see that on a moonlit night. It's barely visible, but I can see that's Point Reyes right there. I'm betting on it. Just goes out and is shaped out, comes back in. And now you can start seeing outside the Golden Gate Bridge, the part of the bay reflecting off of the moonlight. And the Golden Gate Bridge might be right down in there. Yeah, so this could be 101 goes off to the left. This goes to Bolinas. That could be Bolinas right in there, or Stinson Beach. I forget. Bodega Bay, I think, is up to the north a little bit. But that's cool to be able to see. We'll go out here and we'll be able to see what I think is this could be Petaluma in there, or part of Richmond.
Charlie, contact NorCal approach on 120.9er. Good day.
So we'll keep it right here, and we got to change our frequency from 127. What was it? Something.
120.9er Cessna 7 Bravo
Okay,
Charlie.
120.9.
Goodbye. Cal approach Cessna 527 Bravo Charlie is passing 8,300 feet.
So we
descending
almost go
5,000
right
feet.
over the San Francisco
Cessna
airport
527
on
Bravo
our
Charlie,
way
North Cal,
south.
approach altimeter 29.902 radar contact. Continue to Stints.
So Stints is probably Stinson Beach, and that's right under us. So that, let's see if we see. Yeah, we can barely see some of the cliffs right under us, and Stinson Beach might be right down there. Now we're looking. Lost control. So we don't quite see the Golden Gate Bridge yet. So this is maybe Stinson Beach is right over in there, right there. And then we're looking over Mount Tamalpais. There's a little ridge of hills, little mountains, and they go up. They don't go up too far. So now we're going out, and we won't see the Farallones are out here, but we won't see them at this point. And we'll keep the moon there, and we'll look back at the city. And that may be the airport right there that we're going to. We can't quite tell yet. So now we're down, and we're down to 5,000 feet, and we're going 250. The speed limit's 250, so we're doing 250. And that's the auto throttle. That's the. I haven't had to touch the throttle since we left Arcata, the Redwood Airport, Arcata. Which is nice. I still haven't figured out how to get it smoothly, get it off. I possibly should shut it off right now, but it's convenient. It keeps us at 250. Now we're going back in. I think again that's San Francisco International right there, and we will end up going toward San Francisco International as we go down the bay, and then we'll make a left turn to come back in. And those could be the two runways that we're going to land on. One of two runways, runway 280. So we should straighten out. Yeah, you could look up here and see when this is all pointing straight up, and there's no deviation in the course there. It's going to go straight, and yes, it is going directly toward. Those lights are the two runways, the two active runways at San Francisco. Runway, when we come back in, they will be 280 or 28 and change, and 28 left, 28 right, and we're going to land on 28 right. I've programmed that in, and that's the runway I used to land on. Normally, I would hit this VFR at night, and I'd go in right over downtown San Francisco and go down the West Shore. That is Oakland right over there. That's Oakland's main runway for the airliners.
Charlie, descend and maintain 3,400 feet.
Okay, that sounds good. Let's acknowledge that first.
Descend and maintain 3,400 feet. Cessna 7 Bravo Charlie.
So we need to get down to about 1,800 to intercept the glide slope. So here we go. 3,400. 3,400 and vertical speed. We'll go down at how about 1,500 feet a minute. That should be plenty. We can see the runways 28 at San Francisco that are active, and the two pins might be Palo Alto and San Jose might be the two pins. Again, you don't get those, you only get those on the flight simulator. That's so I can help identify things, so I don't have to edit and put the names in. Here's an airplane coming off of San Francisco, probably. Oh, it's beautiful now that we're close to the Bay Area. There you can see the airplane taking off to the west, Half Moon Bay. We've been in and out of Half Moon Bay many times. There's the little pin, and it says the name, which of course, if you're lost, that helps you, but that's not how you find your way in real flying. We can look back at the city, and with the moonlit night, it really is quite pretty. That again, that's not exactly how it looks, but it's close enough for me. I can imagine the Bay Bridge going across there, and then the San Francisco Golden Gate Bridge would be going right across, right about in there. We couldn't see the Golden Gate. We can definitely see things here that would be very visible if you were flying, and we are on an instrument flight plan, so there's not going to be anybody that conflicts with us. This altitude is clear. Nobody is going to be flying in our space. This guy might be landing at San Francisco. This one here is definitely on approach, and we're going to go fly down the bay, maybe down about as far as the airplane going south is, or this one coming, I shouldn't say going east. This one is coming back west to land at San Francisco, and the post office was at this end of the field. I'd land on the second half of the runway visual and roll out to the end, and then taxi over in here to unload the mail. United Maintenance is down here. This could be United Maintenance right in there.
Maintain present heading and altitude. Expect RNAV Yankee runway 28 right approach via sit-by transition.
Okay, they're giving us a clearance. There's a clearance. Okay.
Maintain present heading and altitude. Expect RNAV Yankee runway 28 right approach
That's
via sit-by
what we asked
transition.
for.
Cleared to sit-by Cessna 7 Bravo Charlie.
So watch this guy here. He's on a final instrument approach to San Francisco. We'll see if we can get close enough to see the actual airplane. Yeah, we will. No, we can't quite. Not quite. Not quite. There he goes under us. But if we were in VFR, if we were in daylight, you would see. So you see we're heading down to about Palo Alto, and then we'll come back. This is San Carlos Airport right there to the right. This is Highway 101 that's right under us, the freeway. This is probably where San Mateo Bridge goes across. Yeah, I think so. And this is called Foster City right in there. That was built on fill. So they'll turn us around, and we'll come back in and land at San Francisco. We'll see if we see those airplanes that were on final approach. We'll see if we see them landing at San Francisco. So we'll come back in and we'll land at this longest one on the right here. Again, I used to be normally, I don't recall ever having to make an instrument approach at 11 o'clock at night into San Francisco. I would come down here in the wintertime when it was storming. You'd usually be VFR, you'd break out at 3,000 to 4,000 feet. You could fly down past Hunter's Point, just come down here, and I'd land on the second half of this 12,000 foot runway. I could land in about 3,000 feet.
And maintain 1,800 feet.
There's a 1,800. So we'll just continue down here, and we will acknowledge that.
Descend and maintain 1,800 feet, Cessna 7 Bravo Charlie.
There's Moffett Field, and then the next would be San Jose. And there we go. And we're going down to 1,800 feet. We'll go inside. Click this over. And 1,800 feet is the altitude where we'll intersect the glide slope. 28, and we'll go again. 1,800, and we'll go vertical speed. We'll go down to 1,000 feet a minute. 1,100 is good enough, and we're coming around. it's navigating great. That's the Dunbar Bridge right there. Goes over.
1 o'clock.
And-
High. 2 miles.
And we'll see what we look like here coming around. And we are going to hit the final approach course. Let's go on back on the tail. And follow around. And we'll see San Francisco come into view here. We're still at 250. You can see the runways up there. We get down to 1,800 feet. Then we'll intercept the glide slope, probably up here about Foster City. And that'll take us down to the end of the runway. And what we need to do now is go inside and slow this thing down to 150. So we'll take that and we'll come down to and put a flap, notch a flap down. And where did it go? Right here. Let's get it down to about 150. There we go. 150, and we are on final. Let's see if we got it. We appear to be on course. Yeah, I think we're good. We'll get lined up. So we're getting down to 150. And pretty soon we can put our flaps down. Look at all the bogies out here. We may or may not get lined up on final, but look, it's on that little bank right now, so it's going to go over and get lined up on final. So I'm going to put our gear down. Look at all the traffic here. That's pretty. It's really pretty. And I'm going to come in with another notch of flap.
5 miles north. Descend and maintain 9,000 feet. Expect RNAV Yankee runway
And the auto throttle is adjusting for the additional drag, not letting us go below, so I like the auto throttle. And let's put full flap in and see how it does. Let's put full flap. We got full flap.
Charlie, you are 5 miles east of San Francisco.
Yeah.
Contact San Francisco Tower on 120.
See, that's a little late to be doing that. That's a little late for him to be doing that.
Tower on 120.5 Cessna 7
Oh,
Bravo Charlie.
I have to turn
Clear
on
to
that.
land runway 28 right, number 2
See,
Skywest Tree
we
208 heavy.
didn't have. I got to take that off. See, I got to turn off the autopilot. And just come on down and land. And I got to turn the auto throttle off. See, normally it would have hooked us up.
United 2279er heavy, turn next taxiway.
Auto throttle. There we go.
Frontier Flight 4401 heavy, exit runway when able.
So I think I got everything off, and we just go over and land on the right. I go in on the tail, right there. So it's saying auto throttle, but I got control. I want to land long. So I'm going to just...
United 2279er heavy, exit runway when able.
So we have to just ignore that. I have to fly the airplane. I'm too slow. 108 should be about 130.
Turn next taxiway.
So I'm going to land long.
4401 heavy, contact ground on 124.25. Skywest 5354 heavy, altimeter 29er.
So I always land west of runways 1, which we're going to fly right over runways 1 right now. We're flying over runways 1 right now. Now I'm coming off the power, dropping down.
Going around United 19er tree 1 heavy.
There we go.
United 19er tree 1 1 heavy contact NorCal
and we
approach
put
on
the
128.575.
flaps up.
Good
We'll
day.
roll out to the end.
Auto
San
throttle.
Francisco Tower Airbus India Tango Yankee 641 ready for
And
IFR
the
departure runway
reversers,
28
because
left.
my throttle
Airbus
quadrant
India Tango Yankee
doesn't
641 hold short
work
runway
quite
28 left.
right.
Traffic is Airbus A20N on the runway.
So I'd go right off the end of the runway here.
28 left, SkyWest 5354
Right
heavy.
here.
Auto throttle. Auto throttle. Auto
American
throttle.
2860
There we go,
heavy,
right
follow the
there.
aircraft on
And
final.
then I'd go over here
Wind calm
to
clear to land
Butler
runway 28
Aviation,
right.
and that's where they that take the
Hold short runway 28 left Airbus
they take
641.
the mail off.
Auto throttle.
San
we'll-
Francisco Tower
so
SkyWest
we'll
5599er heavy
just-
7 miles southeast
We'll
inbound
just
ILS
pretend
runway
this is the
28
post
left
office
approach.
right over here.
Auto throttle.
SkyWest 5599er heavy San Francisco Tower.
Auto throttle.
Altimeter 29er
We'll get
decimal
right over
9er
here.
2 wind calm cleared ILS run.
Auto throttle. Auto throttle.
We'll go
Auto
right here in
throttle.
the light.
Auto throttle. Auto throttle.
Pretend it's
Auto throttle.
Butler
Auto
Aviation
throttle.
right
Auto
here.
throttle. Auto throttle.
Yep.
Auto throttle. 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 Auto
There we
throttle.
go.
Auto throttle.
Some other
Auto
guy got
throttle.
our spot.
Auto throttle. Auto throttle.
So now I'm
Auto
going to
throttle.
have time to
Auto
go
throttle.
inside
Auto
and
throttle.
turn that
Auto
off.
throttle. Auto
And
throttle.
that's
Auto throttle.
right down
Auto
here.
throttle. Auto throttle. Auto throttle. Auto throttle. Auto throttle. Auto throttle.
And I just don't understand
No
that.
takeoff.
There's
No
a,
takeoff.
and that's because the brakes are on. And that's good. We want the brakes on, and we don't want to
No
take
takeoff.
we don't want to take
No
off.
takeoff.
If that no takeoff tells you have your brakes on, that would be trouble if you try to take off with your brakes on. That would inhibit your freewheeling, your acceleration, and you might have a problem getting off the ground. So that's why when you push this up and you have your brakes on, you get a,
No takeoff. No takeoff.
there you go. Anyway, hope you enjoyed the flight, and I'm sorry it gets hectic. That's why that's why you need a co-pilot in something like this. One does the communication and one does the flying, and that's how it goes. And trying to adjust the communication box to do that and fly the airplane. See right here, request taxi to parking.
San
So
Francisco
just-
ground Cessna
so just
527
say-
Bravo Charlie taxi to parking.
Taxi to parking.
Cessna 527 Bravo Charlie taxi to General Aviation parking using taxiway Zulu.
Good. Maybe I was on Zulu. I don't know. Anyway, I did see a YouTube where a guy got in trouble with air traffic control and probably would get written up. He busted his altitude. And,
Cessna 7 Bravo Charlie acknowledge last transmission.
and I bust altitudes in this, but of course I'm not real. I'm a simulation, so I can get rid of it. But if you're in a real airplane, if they tell you to descend and maintain a certain altitude, they expect you, and you acknowledge, you got to get down
Cessna
there.
7 Bravo Charlie, please acknowledge.
Yeah, see, they're gonna keep after you.
Taxiing to General Aviation parking using taxiway Zulu Cessna 7 Bravo Charlie.
But he had something that distracted him. He was going out of south of Utah, Salt Lake City, Utah, and he busted his altitude. He was supposed to climb and maintain 6,000, and he went through 6,000. He should have had it was a sophisticated jet that he was flying. He should have had that set to sit on 6,000 feet. And, he knew he was going to go climb to a higher altitude, but fly the airplane, set it for 6,000 so you don't bust the altitude. And I'm dragging this out too long. So anyway, we'll explain it some other time, or you can get information from a active autopilot who knows what he's talking about. I've never had my CFII, which means instrument instructor. I was just an instrument pilot, but I just had a CFI, not a thanks for riding along. This is entertainment, and I like to talk about the good old days. And I also like, on my bucket list, which I have no desire to go on a real jet, I'm having too much fun on my simulated jets, and I get to fly, whereas a real jet, I don't think they'd let me near the controls at 89 years of age. Oh God, I'd have to own it. But even then, I think they'd be get in trouble with the FAA if they let me get behind the yoke. Thanks. Okay, see you soon. Bye bye.